Now it's time for the dip. It's the dip, 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 shamalama ding dong.
Yep.
And we're just using straight Rit.
Rit.
Good old Rit.
Rit. This is Scarlet.
Yeah.
Scarlet Rit.
Scarlet Rit, just in water. There's no acetone involved in this. That was another question that was asked before. Just Rit and water. Just applied a full box of Rit and however much water to keep the disc from touching the bottom of the pot there. So we want the Rit mixture here to be just barely steaming.
Perfect.
If you can touch your hands to the size of the pot and not get burned, then
good to go.
You're good to go.
Nice and warm.
All right, so we're ready to dip.
Handles.
Grab the handles.
And set it in at an angle. Just so any little air bubbles that are sitting on the surface of the Rit, set at an angle, the air bubbles will move to the side and get out of the way. Because if there's an air bubble that shows up, or that gets stuck on the vinyl, you'll just have this perfect circle of undyed plastic, which is, people will laugh at you.
Right,
All
right.
right, so here we go. Be really careful not to jostle the pan and let the dye slop over the sides.
Right, yes. Getting dye over the sides is the main thing we're looking to avoid. Is that it gets into those creases there on the edges and
it gets everywhere.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how well it slips around to the front of the disc. And so we're just letting it sit there for a few minutes, or not even a few minutes, just a few seconds.
Give her a bubble check.
Yep.
Just make sure we got no bubbles. None even attempting. That's good.
Alright. And as far as how long you want to leave it in, it depends on how deep of a color you're trying to get. Basically, anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes is what you're looking for. 2 minutes will give you kind of a light grayish dye. If you were doing black, I guess would be somewhat pinkish with red. And then we're going to leave this in for a full 10 minutes or so to get a nice solid red in there.
And if you leave it in forever, eventually the dye will bleed through the vinyl and start dyeing the parts that are masked off, which you don't want. That's why vinyls are in the first place, to keep the dye away from the disc.
Right. So yeah, you can take yourself a little break, but just try not to forget about the disc in there. That's happened before, and we've come back to find a burned and crappy looking disc, and it's been not so much laughter. Okay, we'll come back in 10 minutes and see how she looks. So, we have our disc here. It's been floating for just about 10 minutes, and we are ready to pull it out of the dip.
Handles.
This is where handles come in really...
Don't say it. Useful.
Useful. Yes, yes.
Look at that brilliant, nice, deep red. Good looking. Alright.
So yeah, give it a little shake to get the dye off the face of the disc so it doesn't drip onto my floor.
Whoa. Alright. Hot water. Want hot water.
Hot water.
Alright. Get all the excess dye off before we start removing vinyl.
There is actually dye on there. You can't tell that if you end up rubbing it against your clothes, you're gonna have colored clothes.
Yeah, and for like the next week after you dye it, you don't want it touching face to face with other discs either, because there's still gonna be some dye that'll just transfer right off.
So yeah, the hot water here helps with the adhesiveness, even though it looks like it's still pretty sticky. But it'd be that much stickier if we didn't have the hot water.
Wow.
And see, it just comes right off. Chuck's favorite tweezers.
These are the best. These tweezers are like a Sherman tank. Only less expensive.
Yeah. especially when you steal them from your friend.
Sorry, Tim.
That's all right. They went to a good cause. There you go. That comes off quick and easy.
Let me just make sure there's not too much Rit on there. I like how I'm using Tim's dish sponge too.
If only it were used on dishes.
Oh, this is clean.
And there it is.
Clean
Yet another
biohazard.
Yep. Look at those straight lines.